All right.
All right, dude.
Okay. Game number 2.
Game 2.
Was this the same? No, this is a completely
Yeah, it was a different night.
Okay.
Yeah, different players here too. Well, at least one changed out. Let's introduce the decks. So, top right, we're gonna have Brad playing Lazav or Lazav, however you want to say him.
The Multifarious.
The Multifarious.
So I believe his deck is a budget list, so I think he's under $75 for the total cost of the deck.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 50 and 75.
Yeah. Keeping it pretty low to the ground. As you would expect, just really valuable creatures that he's trying to get into the yard, things that he can shift Lazav into.
He's got some neat interactions loaded into his deck, so hopefully we'll see some of that.
Yeah, we'll see some of that. Moving down to the bottom right, we've got AP, who's playing a Circu deck. Lantern control with kind of a mill sub-theme, as I understand it.
Yeah, it's a budget list too. It's not your higher-ended...
Yeah, it's not going to be like your T1, like combos are ready to go off kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, so he's kind of trying to keep it around, I think, around the same price range.
Bottom left is me with Ikra Tymna doing an old Commander 2014 Partners pairing here. I don't even know how to describe this deck. It can kind of aggro if it needs to. I can take my time to set up if the game's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's got a bifurcated strategy, I think.
And then I usually sort of try to hold off on major life gain until later in the game so I don't draw attention to myself.
And then, yeah, Izzet fanboy up there is yours truly, my dude. Got my Izzet playmat, my Izzet card sleeves, and yeah, it's Niv-Mizzet Parun. So we did a podcast about this one. It's Niv-Mizzet the Parun without Curiosity, no Ophidian Eye, no Tandem Lookout.
Yeah, so you're doing some weird comboing.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to fall into a more convoluted combo where, yeah, in the end I'm drawing the deck, but it's definitely one that you kind of have to trust the wheel effects to get you through.
Yeah, so you're trying to filter for the things that you want and just go.
Okay, let's start her up, dude.
All right, let's fast forward a little bit here. Brad plays an island, passes turn.
Okay.
AP comes in with a swamp.
So he puts out the Lantern Insight and then the Ghoul Caller's Bell.
Ah.
So I remember the early stage of this game is going to be a lot of me and him going back and forth. So he ends up trying to get rid of cards. I think this is the first one that he gets rid of.
Yeah, so he has all of us reveal the top of our library. You've got a Cyclonic Rift. I've got a Torment of Hellfire.
Yeah, so he can ring the Ghoul Caller's Bell and just drop any card he doesn't want to see.
Yeah, so those all end up in the yard.
See, this is some really cool deck interaction, actually, because it's like early on.
Yeah, because he's seeing spells that are going to impact the late game right there. And he just gets rid of them.
Yeah, he didn't even wait for that.
Yeah, that was just obvious he wanted to get rid of it.
It's a Cyclonic Rift, dude. It's
two all-star cards for you and me, right?
Yeah, you lose Torment.
Torment of Hellfire is not a good thing to see go off.
Brad's probably okay though because his deck is
he's fine.
Graveyard.
I just go ahead and play a land and pass a turn.
Okay, Star Compass.
Star Compass turns past.
Yeah. So I'm stuck with producing mana the mana rocks I use. They pretty much, I want them producing colored.
They have to produce color.
I think the only thing I've got in there that doesn't is just ye old Soul Ring. Okay, yeah. So it's the House Guild Mage.
Okay, so
I think the ability that he values in this is the Surveil 2. So it's 2 in black and then tap, and then he can just activate a Surveil.
Okay.
Again, he's not in a, he's trying to work around budget restrictions. So that crazy demon, I don't think he's got that thing in his deck.
Sure.
One that lets you pay 2 life and Surveil. This is an interesting matchup because of what AP's up to. And there's Brad's Halloween decoration. I guess he set up like a pentagram with some candles on the floor. Him and his wife. Hail Satan.
So one of the things I noticed with Circu is that he's kind of doing a lot of trying to figure out what is going on because there's more information available than you would typically have available to you in a game.
Yeah.
So it looks like he just passed the turn, and I go ahead and I tap down to cast Tymna.
So I pay for a shock land. Faithless Looting, so draw 2.
Discarding an island, Andy? Big mistake, dude.
Yeah, but you can see I have multiples in my hand. Like a lot.
Flushed with cash.
Yeah. So I'm going to discard my hand and draw that many.
What's the play here?
So it's the Whirlpool Warrior. So he's one of the, you know, for people who can't afford a Wheel of Fortune. But you can sack him and have everybody discard their hand and draw that many too. So I value him because he has 2 wheel-esque effects on him.
One that's beneficial for you,
Yeah.
like in terms of just.
So in the other game, he kind of develops a blocker. I can kind of replace my, you know, after I've ramped out artifacts, like I just want to try to get a new hand.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, here's me trying to figure out what the hell he's up to.
It's kind of funny because I think we're all just sitting there like, what is he playing?
Yeah, the Circu list is puzzling. It'll puzzle your opponents.
Yeah, we struggled, I think, to know what was going on, and I think you kind of feel like there's a gun to your head quite often. So Brad goes ahead and taps down and casts Lazav here.
Yeah, I think he misses the surveil trigger though.
Oh, you're right.
He does that all the time. He just forgets like
Yeah,
Lazav's surveil trigger. So he could have ditched that land.
Would have been nice. Plays in as commander, passes the turn. And AP just held up that whole round of the table.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing control. That's kind of what it's going to look like, right?
Yep.
So land played in for AP. Okay, another mana rock comes in. Passes a turn on to me. Go ahead and in with the land play. I go ahead and shock it in.
Looks like you're gonna dive on AP.
Yeah, he's open, and Tymna is a great opportunity for some early card draw.
I think I want him to like mill. I'm like, do it, just ditch it. I'm telling him to ring the bell, but he won't. Yeah, he probably wants to wait for me to draw that land. Like, it has a surprising effectiveness in that you can wait for me to draw that, then mill.
So I go ahead and I gain life from the life link, but then pay down the life to go ahead and
grab that lotus.
But now I have the Sylvan Library on top is what I think is there. And so that's going to be juicy. But I cast Phyrexian Arena.
Okay. So I begin my turn. He didn't mill it for me.
You're like, I've already got too much of this shit. You see like AP like leaning over inspecting cards.
Yeah.
He's like looking at me. I think because I don't think he realized what the Sylvan Library was going to do for me at first.
Yeah. So at this point, like, I can sacrifice the Whirlpool Warrior and have everyone get a whole new hand.
So you come in with your own commander sphere. You're like wiggling your cards, like, am I gonna do this?
Yeah, so it's a constant like, do I just ditch this hand or not?
So the other thing I think is you're not able to use the top the way that you would like to.
Okay, so he sees Nexus of Fate at the top of my library. So he's trying to find out if I can use the top in response to him ringing the bell, which I told him I obviously would.
Yeah, you absolutely would.
So a lot of this game is his Lantern and Ghoul Caller's Bell versus my Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah, like he put a gun up to your head and you're kind of holding one up to his now. Like,
yeah,
who's gonna do what first?
Yeah, over trivial. I mean, they're not trivial, but it's pretty funny that, you know.
So AP goes ahead and mills us all. So I lose my Sylvan Library. Brad's just like, cool, put stuff in my yard, bruh.
Yeah, so I reordered the top 3 to try to save my Nexus of Fate. in response. So I'm gonna have to kind of choose out of those three which one I don't want. So I put him back.
And there's
Reveal
an
it for the
island on
temple
top.
and ditch the island. And then the Nexus of Fate is next.
You clever girl. So Brad takes his turn and he kicks in the ever-flowing chalice
For a 4.
for 4, so it's got 2.
So
Okay.
I really like the Everflowing Chalice's flexibility. You know, it's a great card.
Yeah, if you just need it early on turn 2, awesome. If you want to juice it up later,
Yeah, so it's a Hedron archive now.
yeah.
Yeah, so he pays 4, has Lazav turn into some blocker. I think it's a flying blocker. We can't really see it.
Yeah, so something kind of prophylactic, it looks like.
Yeah. That card's still in the graveyard, but Brad's just kind of putting it there to represent
Yeah, he
who
wants
Lazav
it to
is
make sure that
currently.
people understand what it is.
Okay, so AP's turn. So AP gets Circu, Dimir, Lobotomist into play. So pretty much from now on, whenever he plays a blue spell, he'll remove the top card of the target library from the game. And when he plays a black spell, he'll remove the top card of the library from the game. But whatever gets sent into exile,
By Circu
specifically, yeah, no one can play those same cards. So when he plays blue-black spells, this would happen twice.
So he just rang the bell on us, so we all mill.
Yeah, because he
Right.
wasn't. It's a win-win. Like if he can mill us, or he can cast a spell and exile those cards that he sees with the lantern.
Yeah, so you have Dream Halls that's now revealed on
Right.
top.
So this is an important card for my deck, and he knows it. So he wants to get it out of the game. So he resolves a blue-black spell. So it's headed to exile. So what I do is I respond with the Whirlpool Warrior to have everyone shuffle their hands away and draw that many cards. Because I ain't about to lose.
Yeah, I mean, losing having Dream Halls in exile is not preferable for Niv-Mizzet Parun.
Yeah, so he casts his Thought Erasure. So he could just reach into my hand and discard the Dream Halls anyway.
So we sequenced this because you have put in the mill first, right? And so you draw up your new hand, and he's starting to look at it as in order to resolve Thought Erasure.
Yeah, so we're trying to resolve the Dimir, the Circu trigger at this point. Okay, so he chooses to exile the top card with Circu. So yeah, I lose my Trinket Mage.
Wah wah. There's a lot of decisions to make here with Circu.
Shouldn't he have been able to hit 2 people?
I think he should have been because it was 2 spell. It was a
What was
blue
the
and black.
spell, yeah.
It was blue and black. We may have missed a resolution there for him. He passes the turn on to me. So I think typically here, when someone with this configuration of Ikra and Tymna, you get up to 5 mana. I oftentimes have gone ahead and played played Ikra, but I found that draws large life totals early on.
Right, because of
And
the butt link.
I
that
get a
comes
lot
with
of
it.
attention from it, and so I've actually pulled off of playing Ikra early. So I play Karametra here, and it's kind of like people are just playing a setup game, so I'm feeling comfortable that, okay, I'm just going to play some creatures from hand and ramp out. Plus, I'm getting card draw from Phyrexian Arena each turn, as well as Tymna that's available for card draw. So I have the ability to kind of quietly dig through my deck a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point you're attacking me, but I'm just still triggered over his artifacts.
And I'm like, I just need to go at someone that's open.
Yeah.
So I can gain my life and pay it
out
to
of here, dude.
draw a card.
Okay.
I clean up and pass the turn.
So I cast Ponder. And try to hide stuff from Circu.
And this is just the story of Ravnica, right? Dimir fucking around with Niv-Mizzet's experiments.
Yeah, get out of here, man. I got
Go
work to do.
away. Gotta send hot water to the city, dude.
Hot reprint right here, Chrome Lantern.
Yeah, Chrome Lantern comes in.
Thank God.
It looks like you should be set to get yourself with a commander out, I think, in the near future.
So I flash back Faithless Looting. I think that's it. I think I have to pass, and I'm tapped out. I'm walking through it again.
You're counting up. Like, okay, yeah, I got it.
Okay, Brad's turn.
So Brad casts Tigum here.
Tigum's really great for Lazav because it lets him turns his draw into like a card selection moment at the beginning of his turn.
And even if you're playing in the colors, Tigum's really, really nice, but it's particularly awesome for this deck.
Yeah, and Sidisi. Sidisi enjoys his company too.
Yeah.
I mean, he is her hand after all.
So Brad's kept Lazav as the Night Veil Sprite,
right.
Correct? He had changed that on his last turn. Goes ahead and attacks, and he uses the Surveil. And that's a Wall of Blood on top of his library, which
yes, so that's a finisher for him.
may be of interest.
Right.
Passes the turn. So he casts a Fog Bank here. He just needs to keep people off of him.
And Key to the City. Okay, so yeah, he casts Fog Bank, and after some negotiation, doesn't exile Brad's Wall of Blood and exiles his own land off the top of his library. How much land are you going to get from Karametra this game?
So I had a very interesting... I don't know. I had a lot of ramp spells that got played in several creatures off of Karametra. So
Dude, can we get a ramp counter right now?
we probably should.
Let's get up a ramp counter for you.
Ramp counter for Ikra Tymna. The other thing is I'm getting my land drops because I'm drawing 2 cards in my upkeep with Phyrexian Arena.
Okay, a bird with some land.
So, yep.
There's a 1.
So there's one. I'm going to go get my Karametra, I think, in a minute here because
yeah,
I've got more. So Rampant Growth.
Okay, Rampant Growth.
So I think I just go ahead and get my 2 land plays from Karametra and Rampant Growth.
Okay.
So I go into combat phase and I'm just doing what I've normally done. So I'm attacking, getting my life gain from Tymna, drawing an extra card. So usually I like at this point of the game, I've been getting 3 card draws per turn.
Yeah, and you know, in typical Izzet fashion, I got fuck all for blockers, so
You're just wide open for me.
yeah.
I don't feel bad about that with Tymna because it's just 2 damage.
It's like fucking land, dude. That's all I'm revealing from his lantern. Holy shit. I have like 3 mountains in the whole deck.
Yeah, like you go into your turn and like there's just mountains.
Not.
Mountains. Oh, look, island.
He wants to ring the bell so bad. He's just like...
He's like twitching for it, like... Arr! See, so Niv-Mizzet, Parun.
Yeah. The director himself comes to the lab.
And Andy has laid out the red carpet with the mat and the sleeves, and he has arrived.
Dude, is that for life?
What am I gonna do now? Where am I gonna put Tymna? You got a fucking dragon, dude.
You can put it up your ass is where you can put it. Put that Tymna where the sun don't shine.
So Brad comes in with some accessories. Gotta
Yeah.
get those boots on, dude.
Yeah, so let's accessorize our Lazav.
Dimir showing off the winter styles. We now are equipped with Shroud.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot this winter. It's gonna be hot this winter. It's gonna be cold this winter. So yeah, he can't attack now because there's the fog bank in the way. I guess he could try to like get to your bird.
I mean, I've got a bird in front of him that I'm probably
sure, and
not
then,
gonna.
Yeah, Niv-Mizzet will just eat him if he comes over here.
I will put the lightning in your lightning greaves.
Yeah, God, I love the art on that new card. You can see it from here. Look at the lightning.
Bumps off the fog bank.
He's just
And
looking
he checks to see if he
surveil.
can get a surveil trigger, and he does. So AP just goes ahead and passes the turn. He's got a setup where he's comfortable to just sit here and kind of control and do his thing.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for the top decks to be revealed before he decides on moving his artifacts.
So I cast this. This is the Oathsworn Giant.
What does that do?
So this is the one that gives so it gives vigilance to all my
this one's
creatures.
fucking annoying, actually. Yeah, because now they're way out of my ping range. Like I was gonna like try to pop them.
Yeah, yeah. So it
like,
made it so that Andy couldn't pop my stuff off.
Because they have 2 extra toughness now.
Yeah, and you're leaning in like, what?
Yeah, I'm very
What?
annoyed. You can tell, just like I won't stop staring at
My
it.
plans.
That's funny.
So then I cast Farseek as well.
Oh my god,
So that's
dude.
2 turns in a row where I've had a creature play that's given me a Karametra land tutor
Right.
and a ramp spell.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that the creature I played last turn was the fucking bird's paradise. So.
No, yeah. No, we don't want to forget that.
Yeah, and I don't use my combat phase and just pass it on to you. And I think you instep me.
Oh, yeah. So I'm activating the top, sorting the top 3 to kind of get a selective draw. But being mindful of his, godforsaken ghoul caller's bell. Okay, so I play a mountain and flashback recoup, which grants another sorcery in my graveyard flashback. So get a draw from Niv-Mizzet. Yeah, and I'm gonna flashback time reversal. So it's a little multifunctional, right? It hits Brad's graveyard, so shutting down Lazav.
Yeah, so Lazav's kind of crippled here for a minute.
Yeah, the few cards that AP's been able to get into my graveyard with the Ghoul Caller's Bell,
They're now available
tucked.
to you again.
and Niv-Mizzet's gonna see the new draws. So here's me deciding who to dump the damage on. I think it's me counting off how many spells I've shot and
Yeah.
how many draws he's gonna see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I end up putting 9 into my hand I think, because I draw 2 from.
from the,
No, I think I go back to 7 no matter what.
but I think there ended up being a total of 9 damage, if I recall.
Yeah, the
'Cause of the
damage is there, but
spells.
I only end up with seven cards in hand. So I put on the Fog Bank. Can't put it on Lazav, unfortunately, because of the, Winter Cotier.
Put it into Circu. Circu's back in the zone.
Can't kill your people because they're +2 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my thought is that his control elements they're too risky to keep around. But then when I move to try to, for the first 2 draws, but then when I try to put the rest of the damage on Sidisi's hand, Brad counters that triggered ability with Nimble Obstructionist.
Oh, yeah,
So yeah, he
yeah.
just cycles it to discard to counter that.
So yeah, creatures damaged here end up getting rolled back. And I think the Fog Bank went because that was for your first 2 draws.
Yeah. So because I cast 2 spells, like I had 2 separate draws that I triggered them.
But then when the wheel spell kind of went off, that's when Brad prevented the damage from happening. Countered the triggered ability.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose Sidisi's Tygum.
Yeah, Tygum.
Yeah. So I think he put more boots out and equipped
Oh,
them
yes.
to Tygum.
Yeah, okay.
I think he just resolves a Darksteel Ingot and passes the turn. Doesn't have a lot in his yard after getting hit with a time reversal. Okay,
Yeah,
so now we've got a Dustmantle Guildmage. I'm pretty sure this is a combo piece for him.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're dealing with Dimir, there's a high probability that there's a combo coming your way.
Yeah.
I should say when the Dustmantle Guild Mage appears.
And the Pixis Pandemonium.
And because of the 2 cards, it looks like because of it being blue and black, it looks like AP targeted Brad to exile. He had the other Lazav on top, and an additional card that ends up in exile. And then AP passes the turn. He's as stated, he's content to just sit back and control as needed.
Yeah, so he's got Exile Reach again, so he's got the Pixis Pandemonium, which I seriously doubt he'll ever activate the ability to try to get the permanents in play, but he can just exile cards off the top of the library with that. With Circu, he can mill them away. So yeah, the Lantern control engines kind of really come together for him. Okay, let's get that ramp counter going, huh? For your turn.
So the Indomitable Ancients comes in, and now I'm counting up. I've got Karametra Devoted.
Yeah.
And so that's 3 times that Karametra's gotten triggered off of creatures.
Just an amazing card.
In addition to 2 sorcery speed ramp spells. And I've had my land drops every turn. Like, you'll notice my pile of lands is just been quietly getting much, much, much bigger. 1 more for Karametra.
Dude.
With Ikra coming into play. And then because you had shuffled everything in, I got to cast Farseek again.
Dude, when is it going to be enough for you? Oh my god. Not to mention they all have butt implants now with the +2. So
Yeah.
I'm really not able to ping them off with Niv-Mizzet.
So I send Karametra at Brad. I get the butt link because Ikra's on the battlefield.
Start getting that life total out of my reach, huh?
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. And I roll down and get my Tymna draw, dude.
So it's Helm of Awakening. It's actually a combo piece with the Sensei's Divining Top. Yeah, so I moved to cast Anger of the Gods, try to peel the board a little bit, and Brad counters it with the Swan Song.
It's so beautiful.
There's my bird. My conciliatory bird. But what's great about Niv-Mizzet is he sees all of these, so I drew 2 cards from that whole discourse.
Do you go into combat and send Niv-Mizzet over my head because my only flyer is tapped down?
Yeah.
Mana. Which I realized after the fact, I held mana up. I should have done that.
So on my end step, Brad casts Ancient Excavation. It's a great card for his deck. He can draw as many cards as he has in hand and then discards that many, which Niv-Mizzet sees.
Yeah, Niv-Mizzet sees, and it looks like you give me another damage from that.
I don't think I grab it because that card's still there. I've got Rhystic Study showing.
Oh, yeah?
I maybe might just miss the trigger, or me and you were kind of going back and forth. I don't know.
So, in terms of my deck with Ikra and Tymna, I'm perfectly fine with you attacking me and coming at me at a point like this because it keeps my life total below 40 and kind of subtle to where I'm not overly threatening.
Okay, so Brad activates Tygum to remove my last blocker. I activate the top and draw a card in an attempt to save my life because it appears that he has his finisher ready to go.
Yeah.
I cast a Braid to try to remove the boots from Lazav to try to destroy it. So he counters it with a fitting counter spell, the one with the Izzet Guildmage having his shit being exploded. So Niv-Mizzet sees these interactions and I draw cards from them. Getting triggered, getting upset that I'm about to lose.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out. You're like, what?
Okay, so I cast Into the Royal, putting his boots back in his hand. Now I've got exposure to Lazav.
Answers are needed. Answers
I
are
don't think
needed.
we're even resolving the damage triggers from Niv-Mizzet at this point because I'm just trying to survive. It might not matter. So Brad swings at me. I have nothing left.
You're like, no!
And I check my hand again with just futilely
Hoping that
looking
something
for...
had just magically appeared there.
Hope something just manifesting into my hand. Brad grants Lazav infect.
With the vector asp, right?
Yeah, here we go. Then shifts him into wall of blood.
Paying in the necessary amount of life.
Paying in the necessary amount of life to infect my ass out of the game.
And you had plans.
Yeah, so I had a Nexus of Fate in
of.
my hand that I was planning to cast right as before your turn began, because I saw the damage potential on your side of the board.
Yeah, if I had anything
what I didn't see is Brad's combo. I think he got it into his graveyard off of the Sidisi trigger.
Oh.
I keep calling her Sidisi, but it's the Taigam trigger.
Taigam.
Yeah. Okay, so AP dropping a Praetor's Grasp. Targeting Brad to try to grab something out of his library.
What answers do you have?
I don't know. What can you do at this point? Like, I think you're our only hope with all of your copious amounts of lands.
Yeah, with what Brad's able to do, like he's just each turn is an opportunity for him to go out and kill somebody. I think with the life total that he currently has, he can do that. So his life total needs to come down, so he can't use that wall of blood anymore.
Right. Okay, here comes your Mortify.
Yeah, so I cast a Mortify because he's down.
Yeah. He doesn't have his winter wear anymore. I wonder why he didn't re-resolve it. I bounced it.
Yeah, that's right. You sent it back to his hand and he had mana up. So Brad activates Lazav, turning him into the Cephalid Ink Shrouder, which allows him to discard a card, granting it
Shroud from your Mortify.
And unblockable for my Mortify. Which, if I'm being honest with you, at this point, I was actually okay with that. What I wanted to do was make him spend down his mana, knowing that I need to move on him quickly.
Where's his fucking discard? I don't see him do it.
But I don't see him do his discard, you're right. Okay, so I do that in AP's end step. Like, AP's just controlling, he's drawing and passing, basically. I go ahead and go into my turn. I'm counting up that mana, dude. I got plans.
Yeah, see, at this point, I was gonna do Nexus of Fate between you and AP's turn to try to stop whatever this is about to have happen. I don't know what I had planned, but I was, yeah.
You weren't interested in it. So I tap down a huge amount of mana here.
There's that rampant growth again.
Yeah, the rampant growth ends up on the top of the library. Like, I was ready to do another one.
Brad's completely wide open too.
So I go ahead and cast an Exsanguinate. I've been ramping like crazy this whole time, getting my land drops every turn. Drop a huge Exsanguinate. And if you notice, like, I mean, yeah, Brad's got 2 mana up, and I was trying to get him spent down to kind of limit his options.
Yeah, he was short on counter magic at this point with his
he spent it out to try
back and forth with me.
So then I go into combat and I just swing in at Brad.
Yeah, bye.
Enough to kill him. That Exsanguinate like was the precursor, and then I'm just gonna smack you in the face since you're wide open.
Shouldn't have killed me, goddammit.
So what's funny is you see AP on his phone looking at his deck builder. I think he's trying to kind of figure out like what he can do. Like, how close am I with what I want to accomplish?
Yeah, with this much life and that thick of a wall between you and him, I think he's wondering, like, do I even have a chance at this point?
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there trying to do math. Like, how much life do I even have? Oh, what's the name of that?
It's Mnemonic Betrayal.
That's right.
So he's gonna grab what he can from your yard and cast it. I guess he chooses the Mortify.
It's hard to pick a target here, because I mean, like, obviously Ikra is a really good choice, but you know, several of these are all really good contributors.
I could think this is you just kind of enumerating the damage. So
yeah.
Okay, so he chooses the Orthorn Giant with the Mortify to try to drop their toughness.
Remember, I've been drawing 2 cards pretty much this whole game, every upkeep.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I'll be getting extra draw from my attacks because Tymna has never been removed.
Yeah, so really good card advantage flowing in over your deck, or sorry, card draw.
Yeah, and I've been filtering it out quite a bit with all of the ramp, so I don't think I loved the options that I had in hand at this point. And so I think I kind of was starting to just try and move things a little bit on top. So I cast Greed.
Try to turn that life into cards.
So I cast a creature spell that AP counters, but I still get my trigger from Karametra, allowing me to go dig up a land. And he sees the Tree of Perdition sitting on top of my library.
With his life total where it's at,
I see it too, and I'm not particularly interested in having it, so I cast a Rampant Growth.
Yeah, so he pixes all the top of each library.
So my Tree of Perdition is gone, which, he knows I can set him to 10, but I don't have a way that I'm going to be able to do that. He sees Pestilence on top of my library, and he goes ahead and mills that. But then I ended up with Aetherflux Reservoir on top of the library, and he's already shot his wad, so to speak. And I can use Greed to draw it and pay it. I had plenty of mana to cast it and just shoot it out.
Right, so this is the most natural Aetherflux Reservoir win we've ever seen.
Yeah, I just got all the life I needed to begin with.
Yeah.
Cast the spell and shot the wad.
So how do we feel about that game?
It was a little bit weird. This is kind of representative, I think, of our play group right now, where there's a big thing with Dimir going on.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to keep track of what's going on with Circu. Like, there's
Definitely.
a lot of extra information available to people.
Yeah.
That everyone's trying to keep track of.
Yeah. Hopefully AP sticks with it. Hopefully he finds something that makes it so he has a deck that can actually close the game out. I think there's a lot of disruption that he has access to. I like how it happens.
Yeah.
That's probably the first time in a long time I've seen Brad play blue. I think he countered the stuff that was pertinent at the time. He was trying to go in for a win and needed to make sure it happened. And then Niv-Mizzet, I think I was set up. I just was delaying that casting of the Nexus of Fate before you got your turn. I kind of saw your turn being one of our last turns, I'm sure.
Well, and if you would have, that was the last turn. I ended up, I guess there were 2 turns left. I killed Brad, and then the next turn I killed AP.
Yeah, so Giant Exsanguinate and an Aetherflux Reservoir win with that life gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that color pairing. It's smooth, man. Ikra Tymna is a smooth combo for sure.
It flows pretty well. I think everybody got a chance to do things in this game. They got to see their decks kind of realize a little bit of what they like to do.
Cool.